Hey Browns fans, it's time to gear up for a pain-free 2022 NFL season for your Cleveland Browns with new friends of the show, Buckeye Law Group. If you've been injured in a car accident, a slip and fall, a work accident, or even if you've been buried into the ground by Myles Garrett or stiff-armed by Nick Chubb, you need to call Buckeye Law Group today at 1-800-411-PAIN. Their attorneys will fight for the money you deserve. Buckeye Law Group's attorneys have recovered over $1 billion for their clients throughout the entire country. So don't make the mistake of calling just any other attorney. Call attorneys you can trust, and best of all, they're Browns fans just like you. Call our friends from Buckeye Law Group at 1-800-411-PAIN. After 911, call 411. That's 1-800-411-PAIN. 1-800-411-7246. That's Buckeye Law Group, located at 1300 East 9th Street, Suite 1210 in Cleveland, Ohio. Buckeye Law Group, proud fans of the Cleveland Browns just like you.
Hey, Browns fans. Wow, did you see that game? The Browns really got the message. Complimentary football. We turned down the good and turned up the suck. Offense, 3 turnovers. Special teams, 1 turnover. Defense, can't tackle, can't pass defend, no pressure. We can't do dilly poo. Blake, Josh, John, Justin, tell me what's going on. Let's go Brownies. Hoo, hoo, hoo.
Welcome to the Dawgs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, John Nye, and Josh All.
What's up, Browns fans? If there's any left, welcome back to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast. If you want to get your intro on the show, head to thedawgspodcast.com, tap leave voicemail on the drop-down menu. As you can see, we got John Nye with us in the studio today, or is that Toby Maguire?
I don't know, but last week was his debut in the intro, and he wasn't here.
I know. So you can kind of look and see what people do on our videos, like when they fast forward and stuff like that. A lot of people tend to skip through the intro, so that's rude, but watch the intro. It's really funny with John. But anyways, we're going to get into the abomination that was a game yesterday. Before we do, I want to remind you to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Make sure you tap the notification bell so you never miss a new episode. You can also find us on Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts if you prefer to just listen. Lastly, if you're looking for more Dawgs content, head to jointhedawgs.com. Become an official Dog Pack member on the Patreon page. Honestly, the Patreon is one of the only reasons why I haven't taken a long walk off a short bridge so far this season. It's just Browns fans all over the world. Kind of, we get really down, but then they pick us up, and it's just, it's almost like Browns therapy anymore. In the offseason, it was like Browns hype, and now it's Browns therapy.
It's a Browns support group.
Yeah. And it's way cheaper than actual therapy. Right. So you got an extra episode every week. We play fantasy football with these guys. There's a private Discord. Just a lot of good stuff in there. So if you're looking for more content, become a Dog Pack member. Jointhedawgs.com. So it was a terrible game again. I feel like I'm turning into a broken record. The defense, once again, was abysmal, and finally the offense came back down to earth. At some point, you knew we weren't going to keep scoring a top 5 pace with a backup quarterback and essentially one wide receiver. Eventually, you're going to run into a defense that is good, and that's what happened. And I feel like we called it last week. I said on the show, I think this is going to be a tough week for the offense. I think it's going to be a tough game for Nick Chubb, and the defense is going to have to step up, and they had 38 points.
Yeah, I mean, for once this season, we didn't lose a close game.
Yeah, so that was nice. It was nice knowing that it was over in the first quarter, so I could just kind of like sit back and start daydreaming about the baseball game. So that was kind of nice. So I appreciate that. The Browns defense, which I feel like this is becoming the norm, a nobody quarterback, a third-string quarterback, a rookie, a guy who played at, I think, Western Michigan.
I think so, yeah.
A MAC school. No, they're good players come out of the MAC, but, this guy wasn't playing against top-flight competition. He still hasn't, even though he played against the Browns. And he went 24-34 for 309, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and 118.4 rating.
That would be future MVP Bailey Zappe.
Yeah. Yes. It is. What's really funny is I was watching The Herd today, and he was talking to Sean Payton, like, will Bill Belichick just start Bailey Zappe now because of how well he played? Colin, Mike Glennon did this to Joe Woods' defense.
Yeah.
Mitch Trubisky had his best game, and then 2 weeks later lost his job. No.
Joe.
Bailey Zappe, I'm going to go out on the record and say right now, he could be good. He's not this good. We make everybody look this good.
Right.
John Knight have 300 against us.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't, though.
It's just more terrible defense. And then we also gave up 98 yards rushing on top of it, which sounds like not as bad compared to our last 2 games, but we gave up 300 yards passing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the defense cannot stop anything. They are atrocious. I don't see how you could be kind of on the hot seat, people questioning your job coming into this game, and then you give up 300 yards passing to Bailey Zappe, and you're still coaching on this team. I don't understand how that happens.
I said this last week when we recorded the show. I've been refreshing my phone all day. Like, when's Joe Woods fired? Like, when's it happening?
And Mike Prefer needs to go with him. Both of them are 2 of the worst in the league.
It's terrible.
So we got a bunch of voicemails. We want to get to as many as we can. Last week we had to miss out on some. We want to try to get to everybody's. So we're going to jump into the voicemails, and anything you guys don't cover, we'll pick up the slack at the end. So let's just go ahead and jump into these
All right,
things.
so we got Kenny Mack here first.
Hey guys, it's Kenny Mack, and it's another Kick in the Nads Monday. Well, get right to it. We stink, and I just can't believe I was talked into this defense actually being good. I mean, our defensive tackles, and I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, they stink. I mean, I was down there for preseason watching the backups get pushed all over the field, and I can't believe that somehow we thought these guys were going to stand up in the regular season. Special teams for another year looks abysmal. Fumble cost us some points in the game. And then I just don't get people thinking that, Brissett's not a starter. Yeah, no kidding. He's our backup. And Stefanski, I mean, just take the damn points, man. But anyways, I just want to hear your thoughts just on a rant. See you guys later. Bye.
So one thing, if you remember back to the preseason, our defense was terrible, and we tried to pass it off as the starters weren't playing.
Yeah.
And we actually talked about this towards the beginning of the year. Like, the last 2 seasons, the things that showed up in the preseason that we were really bad at, they just carried right on over into the regular season. It was not because the starters weren't in. Last year, the offense and Baker looked like crap in the preseason. Just rolled right on in.
Lessons learned.
Yep.
We know now.
Kenny Mack brought up, what do you guys think about going for it on the 4th and 1? I know we took the points the time before, and then it was a 4th and 1. What do you guys think?
Well, I think you and I agreed that it wasn't like a terrible decision because we were historically so good with the QB sneak. But I personally would have still just taken the points.
At that time, I wanted him to go for it. I felt like we were moving, and anything 4th and 1, we were 100% on the year.
Yeah, but I just don't 100%. Trust the Browns. I don't trust us anymore to do anything.
Yeah, but I understand you got. So I know you got to know your squad and your people, and so it can't be like all numbers and stuff like that. I'm very much in that category, but also like you can't coach scared. You know what I mean? You're 100% on the season at this. Nobody's even really come close. Like, we get it easily almost every single time. I just think Jacoby played one of his worst games, and it started with this. If you go back and watch this, he ran it terribly. He kind of stood up and turned his back, and it was just bad. It wasn't even close. Some people were screaming bad spot. I watched it on my TV, and he didn't get anywhere near the first down.
No. Well, the other thing is, in defense of that decision to go for it, York had kind of been struggling too.
Correct. That's another thing is you're 100% on 4th and 1s QB sneaks this year, and your kicker has
been pretty shaky recently.
Yeah, I had somebody in our comment section said this was before this week, so he'd played 5 games, and they said he's only missed 2 field goals and 2 extra points this year. So well, that's 4 kicks in 5 games.
Yeah.
So he's almost missing 1 kick per game. That's not good. So that factors into it a little bit. And again, to me, anything longer than 4th and 1, I'm like okay, take the points kind of guy right now, because we have no go-to plays. Like we ran a 2-point conversion, and it's a busted play.
It's always a busted play.
It's always a busted.
Always a 4th down. It's always the busted play.
Even in junior high, we have like 5 plays that are like, okay, if we're in a tight spot and we have to have a first down, we can go to like one of these 5 plays, and there's a good chance it's going to work. You know, we rep them like every day. Do we not have those at the end of? Do we?
I don't think so.
It's like we have no go-to, even if it's I'm not saying it has to be a trick play, but just something maybe slight misdirection. Your tight end blocks for a second and then releases opposite of the boot. Just something that is like, okay, if we get the look we want, this is probably going to work. We don't seem to have any go-to plays. 2-point conversions and 4th and 2+.
It's a wrap.
It's a busted play almost every time.
It's going to be a sack.
Right.
Or it's
Throw
going to
it
be
out of bounds.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I think it's easy to, like, especially with, like, the play calling, it's easy to sit here on Monday and go, well, we should have done this. It's a lot easier when they don't get it. Like, looking back, well, we're down 10-6 or whatever. It's easy to go, this could have been 10-9. I understand what you're saying, John. I honestly, Cade York probably was the only guy that had a good game yesterday.
Yeah, he kicked a really great onside kick.
Had a great onside kick, went 3 for 3. But I understand the play calling, and up until that point, that was a money play for us. 1 yard, give it Jacoby, we're good.
Yep.
So I understand it. I just think, yesterday we were damned if we do, damned if we don't. Regardless of what we did.
And in
or
the
what we
grand
sucked
scheme of
at.
things, those 3 points really didn't.
No.
You know what I mean? We were losing this game. I mean, it was bad because we came out early third quarter and all of a sudden they were up 3 scores on us. Even if we had 9, still would have been 3 scores.
Yeah, and I'm hoping all those like really crazy people that the first few games of the season were saying, well, if Jacoby keeps playing like this, do we keep him and not play Deshaun? Guys. Like this was the game, I guess, if you needed to see it. Like
that
we already
question
knew it.
has officially been answered.
Yes. Please stop asking that question.
What's really funny is the beginning of the year, after the first week, it was we need to go to Dobbs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
right,
And then
right.
for 3 weeks, it was Jacoby should keep playing even when Deshaun gets back. And now we're back to we should
be
get
Dobbs
Dobbs.
again. Dobbs
Yep.
is
It's like,
back.
come on, guys.
Make up your minds. What
I was
do you
watching
want?
with a real casual fan was with us yesterday, and she was like, "Oh, it looks like we need to see what that Dobbs guy can do." And
No,
I was
we
like,
do not.
"Just stop!" Like, come. And it was like this early second quarter. I'm like,
Yeah.
just.
He
don't-
did.
my day is ruined enough.
Do you guys realize who we? I'm like, do you guys realize who we play and where we play next week?
Yes.
You want to take Josh Dobbs into Baltimore for his first ever career start, where he's probably gonna have to throw 50 times because they're scoring 80.
Yep. And shatter Jacoby. If you plan on, you can't go back to Jacoby after that.
You know what I mean?
Confidence done.
Like
It's over.
you had to know. We said this in our preview episode for the Patriots, and this was going to be a tough game for the offense.
Yes.
The Patriots are going to make you beat them with their weakness. Okay? And so we knew it was going to be a tough game. And guess who drafted Jacoby Brissett? The Patriots.
They knew everything about him.
They know him better than every other team in the league other than us. Okay? So this was going to be a tough game for the offense. We called it a week ago. We said it. And you're not going to keep playing and keep scoring points at a top 5 pace with a backup quarterback and essentially one proven NFL receiver, and then, Njoku's a solid tight end. You're not going to, especially against these guys, all I keep hearing is they were 21st in the league against the run. So I went back and looked at their stats. They have given up less than either 101 yards or less to 3 of their 5 opponents before they came in to this game. The only reason they're 21st is because Baltimore put up a bunch and Green Bay put up a bunch. Well, Baltimore, 107 of their rushing yards were Lamar. And Baltimore runs on everybody. And Green Bay put up a bunch. They have a pretty decent running game. But the Lions, the Steelers, now the Browns, and whoever else they played, I forget, and the Dolphins. The highest total out of that was the Lions last week at 101. Everybody else was like 80, 90. So they're not getting gashed on the ground. And what do the Packers and the Ravens have in common? They have dynamic quarterbacks. So the Patriots can't come in and just say, we're just going to take away the run and make your not dynamic backup quarterback beat us. Well, because they have Lamar and they have Aaron. So the Patriots defense had to be worried about more than just one thing.
Right.
They came into this team saying, if we take away the run, Jacoby Brissett, who we probably still have the book on, has to beat us. And they have one wide receiver. It was not going to be a good game for the offense.
No. I mean, the recipe to beat us was pretty easy, and the Patriots they execute that stuff so flawlessly.
This is why, by the way, this is the kind of game why we went out and got Deshaun.
Yes.
Because if when you play a team like the Patriots, you're going to take away your strength. Then you go, okay, go ahead, take away Nick Chubb. Deshaun will do this. We can't say that right now. Go ahead and take away Nick Chubb. Jacoby will do what? Throw a pick?
He'll lob.
You know what I mean?
Throw it out on the second play of the game. It put too much air on.
Yeah, this is why this is the kind of game, the kind of defense why you go out and get a Deshaun.
Yeah.
You got to have a game changer at quarterback. We have one. We're just waiting for him.
Is Deshaun Watson able to play safety for the Cleveland Browns? Is what the questions that I need answered. Or cornerback.
Here's my question. Does Deshaun fix this? I know he's super, super good, but we are so dysfunctional.
You're not wrong, John.
We've got some voicemails from people talking about some of this. Actually, let me play Phil's voicemail real quick here.
Hey guys, it's Phil. So that game was absolutely disgusting. All three phases failed absolutely horribly. There's really not even one thing that we can even talk about because we'd be here all night, and I'll let you guys handle most of that. But I do want to say one thing. I think there needs to be a shakeup. I believe that Joe Woods and Mike Prefer should be fired today. And I also think Stefanski and Andrew Berry should be on the hot seat. And normally I'm not a fire the coaches guy, but these players do not look like they're interested. They don't look like they're coached correctly. They're always out of position. They can't do basic things like tackle. Like, something has got to change. And I think it starts with getting rid of Joe Woods and Mike Prefer. Because honestly, if you put someone else in there, are they going to do worse? Can it get worse? I honestly don't think so. And Stefanski's the coach. He's in charge of all this. He needs to light a fire, and I just don't see it happening. Every press conference is like, oh, we'll get it fixed. It's not getting fixed, Kevin.
It's not getting fixed, Kevin.
I talked to Josh about this before you guys got here. You know what pisses me off more than anything about this team? There is no effort. There's no effort. There's no accountability. And it's just the same thing every week to week. With what he talked about with shaking things up as far as players, I told him this. In the 3 years that Stefanski's been there, 2.5 years, they have never benched a player for performance. Not one time. It's always next man up on an injury, something like that. I said, for the love of God, I love Grant Delpit. Grant Delpit should be benched immediately. My boy DeAnthony Bell should be in there. Ronnie Harrison, somebody that cares. Somebody that will give some type of effort. Or if they do mess up, I almost said a swear word, make an adjustment and then play off of that. I feel like we just watched the same game script, the same mistakes. New England didn't want to win that game for a little bit yesterday. They continuously just kept making mental mistakes, and then we would just still give them the first down.
I think they had 8 or 9 penalties
in the first half.
Didn't they have 12 penalties or something for almost 100 yards?
It wouldn't shock. They had 8 or 9 at halftime.
It was crazy. It was big.
So obviously, I think Joe Woods and Prefer should be fired. The Browns are 6th in offensive efficiency, 31st in defensive efficiency.
Yeah, can't get much worse there.
There's only 32 teams, and 14th in special teams. Okay, Joe Woods and Mike Prefer should not be coaching the Browns right now. We're recording this Monday night. They should have already been fired.
That's what I said. Like, I've been checking my phone all day because I want to talk about it on the show. Like, finally, they're gone. And
I don't think it's going to happen either.
I have a hard time evaluating our players because I feel like they're being set up to fail week in and week out in the scheme, in the system. And the biggest reason I think Joe Woods needs to be fired is, to me, it looks like the players have quit.
Oh, they've quit.
I totally agree.
At the end of the game yesterday, even those last couple of touchdowns that were scored,
no effort.
No, it looks like week 17 or 16 at the time against the Bengals, Freddie's last year, or Freddie's only year. When it was obvious, we're like, we can't have this coach back. There's not going to be any doubt that we don't want this guy back. We're not doing anything. Yep. We're mailing this in. That's what the defense looks to me. And to me, that's very dangerous.
It is. And what drives me crazy, and it's got to drive and the voicemails I hear and the people that watch this crap every week. I mean, these guys train year round for this sport. They only get to play 17 games, unless they make the playoffs, in a season. So why would they go out there and not give effort? You don't get to do this every day.
To me, it seems like somebody will break through, or we give up a big pass, and it's just like that again.
Whoops,
yeah.
And so after and it's happened so often now, you're seeing it happen even earlier in games. Beginning of the season, it might have been like third quarter where you start to see like the heads down and stuff. Now it's first drive, somebody's wide open, they get a 3rd and 15, and it's Jesus Christ, this again, and then it's done. first of all, the Browns are a mentally weak football team. I don't know if you guys saw John Johnson's in people's DMs on Twitter saying, "Don't talk crap about me." Just stay off of just.
Well, we saw Denzel Ward on Twitter.
Denzel is just
trying to defend himself. It's like, why are you defending yourself against people on Twitter?
I also feel like they got to defend themselves though because they don't think it's their fault. Now, part of it is you're still. I think you're being played out of position. I think you're being set up to fail. But at the end of the day, also you're still a professional football player.
You're getting paid like it.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, as bad as Joe Woods is, you're still supposed to be a very good player. You should still be able to perform. Just like I always said with Baker and Freddie. Freddie was awful, but Baker still should have been able to be better than atrocious. Because he's supposed to be a number 1 overall pick. Denzel, you're the highest paid corner in football for a day. You should still be able to perform better than you are, even if your coach does suck.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I just think the effort's gone.
All right, Browns fans. The kicker's lining up for an onside kick. The chances of regaining possession are slim, unless you're kicking to the Browns. The stakes are high and the tension is higher. Your pulse racing. He kicks. You watch. The ball lands. Make every play feel this exciting with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and their unbeatable offers. Right now, new customers can make any $5 NFL bet and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Check this out. In addition to the usual bets, everyone can boost their winnings with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. To make things even sweeter, you can throw down on stepped-up same-game parlays once per game day all season long. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code TPPN. Get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Just place a $5 bet on any football game. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Use promo code TPPN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
From tailgate parties to busy weeknights, the flavor experts at Omaha Steaks have made it easy to savor all the flavors of fall. With their mouth-watering assortments of perfectly aged steaks, ultra-juicy burgers, and easy-to-prepare comfort meals that are ready in a flash. Right now, take advantage of 50% off site-wide by shopping their semi-annual sale. This sale only happens twice a year, and it's on now with 50% off delicious customer favorites. And when you use promo code DAWGS at checkout, take an additional $30 off of your order. Don't wait. Go to omahasteaks.com, enter DAWGS at checkout, and stock up on fall flavor today. Omaha Steaks is perfect for those chilly and busy fall nights with entrees ready before the kids can say, "What's for dinner?" And don't forget to use the promo code DAWGS at checkout to score an extra $30 off your order. Omaha Steaks isn't just steak. It's the best steak of your life. Guaranteed. That's omahasteaks.com. Promo code DAWGS at checkout. Minimum order may be required. Now let's get back to the show.
Now, as far as Stefanski, I used to be like a very staunch Stefanski supporter. I still am, but he gets a lot of slack from people because, like I said, the offense is 6th in efficiency, but he's not an offensive coordinator. He's a head coach. Yeah. So you're right. He leads an offense that is 6th in efficiency. He also leads a defense that's last.
Yep.
Correct, because he's the head coach. So he is leading that bottom of the league defense.
Correct. And at some point, you're going to start to lose the whole locker room if it is being looked at as like you're unwilling to do what needs to be done to win. In this league, these players, all they care about is winning. You can sign a mass murderer. If he can throw the football well, the players will rally around him. You know what I mean? Like, it's a results league. All they care about is winning. So if you're not willing to go fire your friend and it's costing ball games, the players will just quit. And to me, that's what it looks like to happen. So his seat is getting warmer. It's kind of sucky because he's yet to coach a game for the Browns with a quarterback that he wants. We're kind of Matt ruling him a little bit. But he needs to get this stuff right. I don't care. Let's go drop to 15th in offensive efficiency, but you fire a couple coaches and send a couple messages and start to look like a head coach because you're not just an offensive coordinator.
I feel like we just keep talking about the same thing too, is not only now is it obvious that there's not a leader in the locker room, but I think that we're seeing a lack of leadership in the coaching staff. I mean, like, and I hate to say that because you see him get rah-rah and stuff like that, but what was it, Phil? Phil said in the press conference, it's always the same thing. You know, we got to address this. We got to do that. It's always very Romeo Crennel-ish.
Yeah, I don't care about what he says in the press conference. What's he supposed to say? What's he supposed to say?
I don't know, but
I'm mad. These guys stink. I mean, what's he supposed to say?
But then, wouldn't you want to see some kind of adjustment or some addressing of it in the next game? Because we haven't. This is 3 years now.
Correct.
This is years of this.
That is I don't need him to come to the press conference and be
fine. That's fine.
I'm with you. The press conferences don't mean anything really. I mean, unless somebody comes up and says something stupid.
It's called coach. It's called coach speak.
Now you're out of control. But if they just say that same, scripted answer, whatever.
I mean, the Patriots get blown out, and Bill Belichick literally mumbles and says no words.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it's that lack of adjustments, the lack of anything changing. Between Sundays, and then you come right back out, and it's the same. It's like we just watched this, and you said you were going to fix it, and nothing's happened.
No, his seat's warming. And the lack of attention to interior D line and middle linebacker has. It's crazy to say, has AB seat warming. Mm-hmm. Because, and here's the thing: is we're going to lose a whole bunch of games here.
Yeah,
we're about to lose a whole bunch of games.
We're about to lose one by 40,
but. Yes, but we should not be surprised. We knew we were about to lose all these games. We were supposed to win the games before this.
Yeah, you're right. We talked about that. We did not have high hopes for these games.
Yeah, so everybody freaking out because we just got beat by the Patriots, and we're about to get murdered by the Ravens, and then we're going to get stomped by the Bengals, and then the Bills are going to bend us over and skull F us. And then the Buccaneers are going to come in for sloppy seconds. We expected that. You knew that was coming. We had to win the first 5 to 6 games. We had to be 4-1, 4-0, and we should have been. Yeah, so you should not be surprised now when we lose 5, 6 in a row. We knew that. We've been saying it all offseason. We knew this was coming. So I don't know why people are acting surprised. I mean, this was what was going to happen, and it's going to suck. We're going to be lucky to get another win before Deshaun gets back.
Hey, do you have a voicemail to make me feel less sad?
No.
Okay.
I legit do not, but Stacy called in to talk kind of about Stefanski too a little bit here.
Blake, I know you like your guy Stefanski, but today he was just absolutely horrible with his calls and everything. Like, why the hell on the first 2 plays of the game are you throwing the ball 2 times in a row? It just doesn't even make sense. And then on a 2nd and 1 near the red zone, you're going to frickin' throw the ball 2 times. 2nd and 1, you have 1 yard to go. You're an absolute idiot. Offense sucks. Defense sucks. Coaching sucks. This team isn't even fun to watch anymore. Go Tribe.
I agree. I will say this: 2nd and 1 is typically a down in football where you take a shot.
Yeah, you do.
Because you can come back on 3rd and you only need a yard.
Yep.
That was a perfectly articulated voicemail, though.
Yes, it was awesome.
Yeah, I like the part where she said we suck.
I'll say this. We talked about the run game, and everybody was screaming about us not running the ball. We were talking about this before we came on. Chubb had 9 first-half carries. That puts him on pace for what he would normally hit for a game. In the second half, we're losing by 3 scores right off rip in the 3rd quarter.
Right.
You're not gonna run the ball. And people saying he's getting 4.8 yards per carry. He had an 18-yard rush. So you take that out, he was averaging 3.4 yards per carry on his other 11 carries. You're not going to run the ball for 3 yards a carry when you're losing by 3 scores in the second half. It's just that happens. When teams are getting blown out, you see their quarterbacks' passing numbers go through the roof because you have to score quick.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who your running back is. I mean, you cannot turn around and keep handing the ball off whenever you're trying to make up ground like that. Let me play a voicemail from Tanner. He was actually talking about the Nick Chubb thing, and then you can continue with that.
What's up, Browns fans? This is Tanner, and I'm from Olmsted Township. I'm just trying to figure out here if Nick Chubb was on anybody else's team, like the Patriots or the Packers or the Buccaneers, any of these other teams that don't have a Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback, this guy would have 38 carries a game. And I'm a big fan of him. I don't want him to get run down from getting too many carries, but 12 carries, 56 yards, that is not what we're about. Give this man the ball. It is disgusting. I cannot sit here and watch any more games with this guy standing on the sideline just because he had 3 rushes where he didn't get his typical 8 yards. Give this man the ball.
But that kind of goes to what you were
again
explaining beforehand.
I feel like the 3 teams he picked, though, by the way, were not good examples because the Patriots never ride a back, even though they've had very good backs. Ramondre Stevenson could get 30 carries a game, but they don't when Dameon Pierce is healthy.
Damian Harris.
Damian Harris. The Packers could give Aaron Jones the ball 30 times a game, but they don't.
Or A.J. Dillon.
Because A.J. Dillon and the Buccaneers – up until this year, wouldn't give Fournette the ball a bunch because they had Ronald Jones.
Yeah, right.
Very few teams have there's not many Derrick Henrys where you just give the ball and people can scream about giving him the ball 40 times. Derrick Henry has fallen off a cliff.
Yeah.
So we're preserving his career. And again, he gets 18 to 20 carries per game. He was on pace for that until we're down 3 scores. Again, you're not going to run the ball. You go way off script when you get down by that much in the second half.
Yeah, like you said beforehand too, the first half was kind of that on pace script that, he was getting the carries, he's getting utilization like normal, and then the second half just went crazy.
I agree with you, Blake. Chubb wasn't winning us that game. 20, 24, 25 carries wasn't winning us that game. Not a chance. So I got a much better idea for Nick Chubb. Why don't we just send him to Buffalo?
Oh, my God.
Man.
John.
And let him have a nice career.
No.
We're just...
They don't run the ball either, dude.
Yeah, I was going to say that he won't
Josh
get any
Allen will
carries
just
there.
be taking
They'll
all
run
his
him with
touchdowns.
Chubb. They'll run him if they have Chubb.
No, Singletary's a good back. They still don't give him the ball.
So the thing with Nick Chubb, though, I mean, as far as his stat line and his game, this is the only bad game he's had this year. I mean, he's had great games every. No running back's going to have an awesome game 17 games in a row.
Correct.
Does
That's
not
true.
happen.
And I agree that Stefanski can sometimes outsmart himself. Okay, I'm not saying that's not possible because it happens. Show me a coach that's perfect.
Right.
Show me the coach that always calls the perfect play. They don't exist. Again, the game script in the second half. In the first half, he was on pace to do what we always do.
Yeah, right.
Okay, and the second half it gets away, and you have to throw the ball a bunch. If we don't get down 3 scores early in the third quarter, Nick Chubb probably keeps getting the ball. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, definitely he would.
Yeah, there's been no point this year where we haven't given him his touches.
Yeah, especially when we're trying to hold on to a lead.
Yeah. So I get if you just look at the box score or like we throw a pick in the second half and you're like, why are we throwing? We'll look at the scoreboard.
Yeah.
The score's 24-6 with half the third quarter gone.
Right. And it's easy to say if Jacoby drops back and throws a pick, oh, we should have run it on that play. But, I mean, you have to pass and run in a football game. I mean, Jacoby does throw the ball during games. This game was not a good one.
And I feel like people are focusing on the wrong thing. We gave up 309 yards passing
to Bailey
Zappe.
Yes.
We got Colin Cowherd wondering if they're going to bench Mac Jones for him. You know what I mean? Like, you're focusing, yes, the offense was bad. I just feel like if you thought the offense was going to be good in this game, you weren't paying attention.
No, but I do think our offense could have been good enough in this game, even in the second half, to win it if our defense could have done anything.
If they could have stopped them a couple times.
Yeah.
Correct.
Or not play
didn't have to
soft
throw
ass
picks.
coverage every play.
Yes,
Yes.
and we could have kept giving Chubb the ball, stayed in script, kept it close, maybe won a 17-15 game or something crazy.
Does
like
anybody
that.
have the pressure rates on Zappe? Because I feel like I watched so many times that he would drop back, clean pocket, look around, kind of figure out where he wanted to go. I'm like, this is a 4th-round rookie quarterback, 3rd string, and we're not in his face?
I know Miles, I think, was credited with like 7 pressures or something like that.
They had 2 sacks, and they're both by Miles.
Right, I thought Miles played a better game, at least in terms of like making a couple impact plays.
Or like you could tell he was playing. You could tell he was there.
Yes, he felt as, I want to address this too. A lot of people are saying that we don't think Miles is good or something in the comments. No, we think he doesn't always give elite effort and he doesn't always impact games the way he should. But we've also been on record as saying Joe Woods does nothing to help him.
Right.
It goes both ways. We're not saying Miles is an elite talent and he needs help. But you also can't watch every game and think he's giving it all as every play.
We think that Miles is really good, and
Yes.
he's too good to not make an impact in a game.
Correct. So you don't come at. I know you watch like the minute and a half clip on TikTok.
Yeah, right.
And then you think, come watch the whole episode. Trust me, we give him his due. We think he's good. Joe Woods, and we blame some other people. We know he needs help in the interior so he can't get double teamed. My thing is other players get double teamed also, and they can still make an impact. But I thought he played. He seemed hopefully he's not hurt forever. But the problem is we can't stop anything.
Nope.
No.
And we get no pressure ever. I was watching the Chiefs-Bills game yesterday, and it's 3rd and 4th down, and the Bills, instead of just Josh Allen getting to drop back and sit in the pocket and scheme the field against a soft zone and have all day, the Chiefs just bring in the house, pressure, bringing 5-6 guys, even though it's 3rd and 14. Don't let them get comfortable. Everybody is comfortable against the Browns. They could bring a lawn chair.
That's true, and the thing is when you bring pressure like that against a quarterback, they have to make a good play,
and it has to be a quick decision. This guy's a rookie,
but exactly. That's what I was going to say. We let a rookie go back there and make routine plays, consistently, and it's like, why? Why would you just let him carve you up?
It doesn't matter if you're a rookie or if you're 41 years old.
I can't move. Yeah,
I mean, you don't have to do anything. Just we can't bring any. I don't understand it.
Between is it Joe Woods' plan or is it the players not executing?
It's both, but it's the plan.
Joe Woods calls the blitz.
Yes.
The players don't just decide that they're going to blitz.
Correct.
I can't tell you how many times yesterday I watched Newsome be 15 yards off the receiver, and all you do is just run super soft out and just be wide open.
Yes.
And then Bailey Zappe would miss the throw, and Greg Newsome would hit him with the Dikembe Mutombo finger wag like he stopped the play. Like, no, bro, please lock somebody down.
No, I get you can't blitz every play. I mean, you can't. If the offense knows you're going to blitz, they can burn you. But if they know that you're not going to blitz,
we're going to send
they can
4
burn you even worse.
all day. We're only sending 4 every play. I watch it every Sunday. It doesn't matter if it's in Cleveland or if it's in Atlanta or it's somewhere else, Carolina. There's 4 people coming.
I think Joe Woods sent out an email to all the other teams and says, "Hey guys, do you guys think this is a good defensive game plan?"
Nice.
I'm just trying to get some help.
I like that. We're going to play super soft coverage. We're not going to send any kind of pressure, and then we'll give you all the time in the world.
And the thing is it's been all the problems we were having with this defense 3 years ago, we're still having the problems now. What I think, people are mad because we haven't fired him. I'm one of these people, but at the same time, his first year here he didn't have his players, so we didn't really hold him that. We got on him, but it was like, we know you don't have any guys. Okay, and then the second year he comes in, it starts bad. Well, you had 9 new starters. By the end of the year, they were playing pretty well. So Kevin Stefanski was obviously not going to fire him last season. We finished the season as a top 10 defense.
And we thought we were going to come into the season as a top defense.
And then we're terrible this year. And I just don't think Stefanski and AB, I just think they're too level-headed to fire a coach midseason.
Yep.
I just don't think I just think they're not going to do it because of the optics. They want to appear calm, cool, collected, like they have a plan. And I just think it's not going to happen in the season. I think they probably want to fire him right now, and it's going to have to wait until the end of the year. There was no reason to fire him coming into this season. Now, you could say you didn't like the plan, but the plan was at least working a little bit the last 7-8 games last year. So he wasn't going to get fired coming into this season.
Right. And you sure as hell can't do it now when you're getting ready to go into Baltimore.
Correct.
You can't do that now. You can't shake that. There's no shake-up coming.
Well, here, the only thing I'll say that is it literally cannot get worse. You're already last. Right. So firing him would do – you can't be worse than last.
I mean, if anything, you just give yourself a chance of, hey, maybe it's going to be a good week.
And sometimes a different voice in the locker room.
We've never had one of those yet.
Yeah.
Sometimes a different voice in the locker room is just like what is needed.
Or, you know, addition by subtraction, like they always say.
Correct.
If they're not playing for Joe Woods, you got to remove him.
If they quit, if the players quit.
And that's such a dangerous thing because then that seeps through everything. Into the offense, into the special teams, into everything.
Yeah. Hey, Browns fans, let's just take a quick break in the action to talk about Raycon's Everyday Earbuds. These earbuds look, feel, and sound better than ever. With optimized gel tips for the perfect in-ear fit, these earbuds are so comfortable and they will not budge. Trust me, Raycons give you 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery life. Raycons are priced just right. You get quality audio at half the price of other premium audio brands. It's no wonder Raycon's Everyday Earbuds have over 50,000 5-star reviews. So go to buyraycon.com today. Use code TPPN15 to get 15% off your Raycon order. That's code TPPN15 at buyraycon.com. Score yourself 15% off today. Buyraycon.com, code TPPN15. Well, okay, let's move on to, well, I mean, I have no happy voicemail, so I'm very sorry about that. But this is definitely not a happy one either.
This is the Brown Tiger. And the interview before the game on, was it Friday? Let's see here. Joe Woods said, I'm not worried about the defense. Well, obviously it showed today that you're not worried about the defense because it sucks. It absolutely sucks. And my prefer, let me tell you this right now. You have to go to the special teams unit that you are showing us is atrocious. You and him both need to be gone. And if Stefanski can't be held accountable for firing them right now, I don't care who we get and replace them, because right now it can't get any worse. All right, and if Stefanski doesn't hold them accountable, then he needs to go next. Go Browns. Whatever.
I called my dad right after the game, and he pretty much said the same thing.
Yeah.
I think that just encapsulates like every Browns fan after yesterday's game.
I was like
we're just screaming, like, fire this guy.
Maybe my favorite voicemail like we've ever got.
Yeah, that was the vibe of the stadium yesterday. Every person,
dude, people were leaving in the third quarter. Yeah, it was empty.
Yeah, my wife at halftime asked me, she was like, "Can we get out of here?" She literally said, my back's starting to cramp up because there's been nothing to cheer about. And I was like, she's like, usually we can get up and like scream a little bit. She's like, this is uncomfortable. I'm just ready to go. And I was like, nope.
Oh, yeah. So this might be coming from a place of emotion here, but I'm a huge fan of the city and I'm a huge fan of the team. But this organization does not deserve the most loyal fan base in the entire NFL.
You're not wrong.
They don't.
You're not wrong.
And here's, like I said, is I'm obviously mad about this game, but I'm more mad about this game because we lost the games we shouldn't have lost before this game. Because like I said, we should not be surprised by losing this game or any of the next 5 games. We should not be shocked.
Right. Are we going to come in here and be upset that we lost to the Bills?
No, they are going to absolutely just
barely beat us.
It is going to be, we're not going to be able to walk right. It is going to be it is going to be so bad against the Bills. At that point, it'll be funny. At that point,
it's not funny to me. It's painful. Yesterday, I don't know. I just am frustrated more than anything. And John, I think you touched on something very, very important there, because you literally have the Guardians playing right up the street. I got to drive by there as I was leaving, and I was just like, man, look at all those good fans. They're super excited. They're about to go and, hopefully watch these guys close this out. We'll do that tonight.
Oh, yes,
please, God, please. Just for we're
yesterday. So I told myself yesterday, I said, I'm not going to get down. I'm not going to let the Browns ruin my mood. And then as soon as we lost at night, I was like, I freaking hate the Browns. I was just like,
they're bringing a losing culture to the city of Cleveland.
I was like, rubbing off on the Guardians.
What a suck day. I was so mad at. Oh, man. But no, like I said, we're going to come in here next week, and we probably lost in all the next weeks. I'm going to be surprised. I will be more surprised if we win a game before Deshaun comes back than I will be if we lose them all.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is wild.
I agree. Just, to show like how bad this season is going, I don't know if you guys noticed, we don't even do game balls.
Yeah, we
were like supposed to do game balls every week.
Yeah, we kind of did.
I even went and bought all these balls.
I don't even have the addresses to send to the players.
We just, Does anyone deserve it, really?
I would honestly, if
Nick Chubb.
I think Cade York had a good game yesterday. I think 3 for 3. It was a nice onside kick. We just don't know how to execute or do fundamentals that are like taught at a very low level.
The special teams, like Brown Tiger brought up the special teams. We get it. I love the idea of trying it. And then it was great execution by Cade York. And then Emerson's there. And then A.J. Green comes in like an idiot. And you have to know, we all know, as soon as it happened live, I was like, oh, he just touched that out while he's out of bounds. Like as soon as I saw it, and then I saw the little yellow thing came up or what, and I was like, that's definitely like I saw it happen. How does he not know that? You know what I mean? Like, is he not coached on that?
Well, that's the thing, is that like you would think that would be something that would be coached on, but maybe not.
Like, you would see, like, hey, remember, you guys, we're going to kick it to the sideline. You guys are on the sideline. Remember, you can't be out of bounds and touching it. Even say it in the freaking, like, huddle before you come out is a reminder. Yeah. I just don't understand. Sometimes it seems like NFL players don't know rules. Like, you ever get to the end of overtime and it ends in a tie and players are bewildered? Yeah. How do you not know? Yeah. How do I know that? You play in the freaking league and don't know it.
What quarterback was that a couple years ago said, I didn't know a game could end in a tie?
I do remember that.
Wasn't it Cam Newton?
It was like a vet. It was like Ben Roethlisberger or somebody like that. Like an Eli Manning. Somebody said that, and it was like,
yeah.
What? You didn't know that?
So it's just, and then I was one to almost let that slide because I'm like, heat of the moment. He's just playing balls to the wall, trying to get there. And then 10 minutes later, we muff a punt.
No, that's where that was the final break. That was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. So we make a stop. I'm like, okay, it probably is over, but I'm just
at least we're making
here.
It interesting.
Yeah, and we punt it, and then a muff punt. I mean, it just typical.
That was a funny part of the game for me because actually I had turned away because I was talking to somebody, and I was like, hey, they're punting to us, so we'll have the ball back. I look back, Patriots had the ball.
And they're scoring.
And they're like jumping up and down. I'm like, did we just drop the punt? Like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Yep.
And so it's the two phases are always, it's the same two phases. Yeah. I know the offense only scored 15, but again, the offense couldn't stay doing what we are good at doing because the defense and the special teams just keep giving up mass amounts of points.
The Patriots had us completely trapped in the whole second half, forcing us to do the thing that we don't do the best.
Yeah, we're the backup quarterback.
And that's the only thing we could do. We could not go back to the run because we didn't have enough time to do that.
Correct.
So, yeah, we were hosed. Let's play a voicemail here from Riley.
Hey, Browns fans, this is Riley coming at you again, and I'm a lot less positive than I was last week.
I remember Riley.
It's just a joke. Absolute joke. It's time for Prefer and Joe Woods to go. Let me know what y'all think. See ya.
Well, Riley, if you've been listening to this point, I think you know what we think. I will say this in terms of, I said this to you guys, I don't want to fire Stefanski. I want to see him with Deshaun. I want to see him nut up and fire Joe Woods and Prefer. Yeah. I want to see him hire a defensive coordinator who's maybe been a head coach. We talked about this last week. And I just want to, I want to see that. But if you told me if we fire Stefanski today, I can guarantee you we will get Sean Payton. I'd drive to Cleveland and fire myself.
Yeah, well, good for you that Sean Payton's not coming here.
Correct. He's too smart.
He is not coming to Cleveland.
He's way too smart to do that.
Yeah.
There'll be an awesome Dallas Cowboys job opening probably for him. Or
depends on if they fall apart or if they keep playing well.
There'll be better opportunities. And I hate saying that as a Cleveland fan, but we're all in on Kevin.
The thing is, I do think that, Kevin, like we've talked about a lot, like he does have this offense moving very well this year. And he's doing so with a backup quarterback, which is very impressive. But not to beat the dead horse again, but
he's in charge of it all.
He's leading the entire team, not just the offense. So here's a voicemail from Joe asking a very important question.
But by the end of the game, Brissett only had about 45, he had about 45 passing attempts, and we're never going to win that way throwing that much. Defense was awful like usual. I don't know what has to happen. Firing Joe Woods would be nice, but even if we do, it doesn't matter. Our offense can't score to save his life. I thought the game plan was to run the ball, play action, and pass every once in a while. I don't understand. I feel like I know what plays to call, but the coaches don't even know what plays to call. Our season only gets a lot harder from here on out. I believe the season is over already. I hope it wasn't. And I hope I'm wrong, but it feels that way already. I'll still watch the Browns play because I'm stupid. But
Me too.
I don't know. We look good on paper, but we look like a dumpster fire on TV. What are your guys' thoughts? I don't know what to think anymore other than maybe next year. Go Dogs. Roof, roof.
Or paper champs.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
So, I think I saw, hang on, those are all the pictures of my child. The Browns are 2-4, and out of the 6 teams they've played so far, only one has a winning record. That's the Jets. Can you believe?
Oh my gosh, the Jets!
How about give the Browns defense time? They face the QB gauntlet of Mayfield, Flacco, Trubisky, Mariota, and Zappe.
Tough.
Here's the starting quarterbacks except for Herbert.
Yeah. Here's what's crazy is the Bears have a better record than us, or the same record. The Commanders have a better record than us. The Jets have a better record than us. The Giants have a better. There's a lot of teams that were supposed to be pretty darn crappy that have a better record than the Browns.
The Falcons now.
The Falcons. It's bad. And we said we wanted 6 wins in terms of
before
Deshaun came back. In theory, you could probably get away with only having 4, and then you force him to be perfect and go 6-0, and then we're 10-6 or 10-7. But I just don't know if I can find 2 wins.
I think
not the Ravens. I want to say not the only reason I would even say we have a shot against the Bengals is because we seem to have their number. But at some point they're due. And if we're reeling and the defense has quit on Joe Woods like it seems they have, they'll drop 60 on us. The Dolphins have gone on a 3-game skid, but that's because they've been playing with no quarterbacks. As soon as Tua gets back, I mean,
they'll be okay.
We're not stopping them. There's Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
It is kind of funny to think about.
We can't stop Devontae Parker.
Yeah.
We couldn't stop, Tyquan Thornton, the rookie just came off IR.
He is very speedy.
You know what I mean? So I don't see – I mean, honestly, I don't see any wins, and I definitely don't see 2. I can maybe talk myself into 1, and that's only on like a technicality of Joe Burrow hasn't beat us.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, our whole season – if there was like it can hinge on this, it's the next 2 games. I think if we, and I'm not saying that we can or can't do this, but we're not completely out. Nobody wants to win in the AFC North. So if you can go on a little 2-game win streak, you go from worst to first, basically. Well, technically we're third because we have the tiebreaker with the Steelers, but that's the only, but even then, I mean, it's still a long season.
Yeah.
And you got to have a lot of – that would be the typical Cleveland Browns fan thing to do. Like, we need all these things to fall on our rice.
Every year.
Yep.
Every year it's that.
I went
we're
into
1-10.
Yesterday's game. I was convinced that was the game that our season hinges on. Because if we come out and look incompetent, there's no logical reason now to suggest that we can beat Baltimore. No. They have shown us, and when I say they, I mean the Browns, have shown us nothing to make me think we're going to come out and beat Baltimore.
Right.
We're going to get killed by Baltimore.
And here's the thing is Baltimore, they haven't even been that great.
No. Lamar.
They're 3-3. Lamar was on this breakneck pace or whatever at the beginning, and Aaron Butler was telling me about how great he was and telling me about how much he weighed and stuff like that.
No, but they're going to stop us from scoring. And Lamar's just going to have his way with us.
Correct. He's going to get back into MVP form this week.
Oh, yeah. There's a get-right game.
Yep. So, I mean, we have yet to play. I mean, Justin Herbert's good, but he didn't have to get used because Eckler ran for all over us.
Or fractured rib cartilage.
This is going to be the first, like, real dynamic quarterback we play, and he is going to just
Oh, if
for
you're
the
not
families
watching.
at home.
Yeah, it is going to be. It's going to be.
Imagine.
I mean, and Baltimore's only 3-3. So as bad as the Browns have been, we're 1 game out of first.
They've been blowing some big fourth quarter leads, so hopefully we can be down like 3 or 4 touchdowns going into the fourth, and let's go on a little bit of a run here,
Yeah,
boys.
I think it's just going to be a scoreless fourth quarter. Whoever is winning at the end of the third quarter is going to win the game.
I think it's going to be. There might be a running clock because they're up by more than 30 in the second half.
Well, don't ruin our Ravens preview later this week. Jeez.
Yeah, maybe we'll just do this one episode.
Yeah, you know what it's going to be.
Do we got any more voicemails?
Not for this episode, no.
Okay. Well, I think we pretty much covered everything. We appreciate. I mean, there wasn't Bailey Zappe, 309 yards. I don't know what else I need to say.
Get him on your fantasy squad.
No, don't
drop him.
Play the Browns.
If you didn't start him this week, then move on.
I just don't understand how you can keep your job after that. There was already talks. I mean, there's already rumblings. There's been rumblings for, really
Weeks.
2 years.
Yeah.
Did we play a single voicemail from a fan today that didn't say fire Joe Woods? I mean, or last week? This is what everybody's saying. Everybody can see it.
Well, wait until the viewership goes down. The Browns do have fans that quit watching.
Are you talking about the Dawgs podcast or the Cleveland Browns?
The Cleveland Browns.
Oh, okay.
Sadly, I think they're related.
But guys, I know the Browns are like really pissing you guys off, and like they're hard to watch right now. But keep watching us, please.
Yeah, watch us.
Please. Last year when they started sucking, we were going down to like 80 views. I was really depressed about the Browns, and then I'd jump on YouTube and be like, oh, real life sucks too. So help us out. Keep we'll commiserate together. Don't stop watching us, please. But if you do stop watching us, I understand. There's been a lot of sexual references this episode, so so I understand. But no, we appreciate all your guys' voicemails. They make the episodes way more fun. Other than us just coming in here and beating a dead horse over and over again, we'll let you guys do it. If you want to leave us a voicemail, thedawgspodcast.com, tap leave voicemail in the drop-down menu. I think we got to everybody's this week. I know last week we missed out on some people. I hope that didn't scare you away. We try to get to as many as we can, so keep leaving them to make these episodes way better. If you need an extra episode to help get you through the week, maybe a little bit more fun, if you thought like some of the more risque stuff in this episode was cool, jump into the After Hours episode. There's more where that came from.
Quite a bit more.
Yeah, so if you want some more access to us, you want an extra episode every week, jointhedawgs.com, become an official Dog Pack member. Make sure you check out our Ravens preview in a couple of days when we tell you about all the ways they're going to kill us. And
way to bring it home, Blake.
Yep, and enjoy that episode with us. I'm really selling it. If you guys don't know, I sell things for a living, if you can't tell. So
how well do you do?
I sold John's house in one day the other day.
Well done.
All right.
Yeah.
Record views on the next episode.
Yeah, record views. So, but until then, try to stay upbeat. Hopefully we're playing in the ALCS next week, so that'll help things out. F the Yankees. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dawgs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedawgspodcast.com.